Good afternoon, Mandela, and welcome to your final wider curriculum lesson of this week. In our live session this morning, we shared some of our opinions about the Great Exhibition, and I really enjoyed listening to your ideas. Today, our learning objective is, can I distinguish between Victorian facts and opinions? Today, we are going to be looking at what makes a fact, and what makes an opinion an opinion. Using this knowledge, we will then sort statements into facts and opinions. What is a fact? Pause your video and tell Mr. Fox what you think a fact is. What is a fact? A fact is something that is true and can be proven. It can be checked and backed up with evidence. We know if something is a fact because it usually includes statistics, numbers, for example, dates, prices, or amounts. It can be checked by other sources, so we can go to different pieces of information to check the fact. It doesn't use emotive language. Remember, we've been learning about emotive language in our talk for writing lessons. It is written in formal language. What is an opinion? Pause your video and tell Mr. Fox what an opinion is. Let's find out what an opinion is. So an opinion is something that someone thinks or feels. It cannot be proven. Other people may have a different opinion to you about the same topic. So you might think something different to your friend, and that's fine because we can all have our own opinions. We know if something is an opinion because emotive language is usually used. It can sometimes use informal language. Somebody else could feel differently towards the same topic. It cannot be checked to see if it is true or not. It is based on what somebody thinks or feels. It may use words such as arguably or it. So remember those words when you are writing your own opinion. So when you're writing what you're thinking, try to use words like arguably or it in your writing. Fact versus opinion. So a fact, it usually includes statistics, so numbers, dates, prices, or amounts. It can be checked by other sources, so we can check it in other places to see if it is true. It doesn't use emotive language, so it doesn't draw us into it. It just tells us how it happened. It is written in formal language. So opinion, emotive language is usually used. It can sometimes use informal language. Somebody else could feel differently towards the same topic. It cannot be checked to see if it is true or not. It is based on what somebody thinks or feels. It may use words such as arguably or it seems. Let's look at this statement together. Do you think it is a fact or an opinion? How do you know? The average daily attendance was 42,831 people, with the highest daily total recorded on the 7th of October, when 109,915 people visited. Have a think. Do you think that's a fact or an opinion? Let's find out. So it is a fact because it has numbers in, it has statistics in, and we can check these statistics to see if they were true. Let's look at this statement together. Do you think it's a fact or an opinion? In short, the exhibition has been translated from a great thought into a great deed, the greatest trophy ever erected of human progress, industry, and skill. And this is taken from the Morning Chronicle on the 2nd of May, 1851. And the Morning Chronicle would be a newspaper. So do you think that is a fact or an opinion? Have a little think for me. Let's find out if it was a fact or an opinion. So it's an opinion. It is what the newspaper reporter thinks about the great exhibition. And this is something that we can't check. It's what he believes about the great exhibition. Let's look at this statement together. Do you think it's a fact or an opinion? How do you know? Over 6 million people visited the Great Exhibition between May and October 1851. Is it a fact or is it an opinion? What do you think? Let's find out. So it is a fact, and it is a fact because it tells us over 6 million people visited the Great Exhibition. So we've got some numbers in there. We've got the number of people that were visiting the Great Exhibition, and we've also got the dates between when they visited the Great Exhibition. And this is something that we would be able to check in historical sources that tell us how many tickets were sold for the Great Exhibition. Let's look at this last statement together. Do you think it's a fact or an opinion? How do you know? It's a wonderful place, vast, strange, and impossible to describe. Its grandeur does not consist in one thing, but in the unique assemblage of all things. Whatever human industry has created, you find here. And this was written by Charlotte Bronte. Do you think this is a fact or an opinion? Have a little think. Yes, it's an opinion. It tells us what Charlotte Bronte thought of her visit to the Great Exhibition. And if you remember back to our lessons earlier on this week, Charlotte Bronte was a writer. She wrote novels, but she also kept a diary of what she did. So this is describing what she thought of the Great Exhibition when she visited. So it's what she thinks about the Great Exhibition. So this might be a different opinion to somebody else who had visited the Great Exhibition. Your turn. What I'd like you to do is get a piece of paper and turn it around so it is landscape. So I've got my book here. So if you're doing it landscape, you need to have it facing that long ways for me so that you are able to draw the table. When you're drawing your table, you need to use a ruler to make sure that your lines are straight. One of the columns, you're going to write the heading fact. On the other column, you're going to write the heading opinion. Pause your video and draw your table now. Now that you've drawn your table, let's see what we've got to do today. Using what we learnt earlier, sort these statements by putting them into fact or opinion. You can just write the letter next to the statement instead of writing it all out. So let's look at A. Queen Victoria opened the exhibition on the 1st of May 1851. Is that a fact or is that an opinion? Have a little think. It is a fact because it tells us the date on which Queen Victoria opened the Great Exhibition. You now need to carefully read the statements. You need to decide if the statements are a fact or an opinion. If you need to check what facts and opinions are, you can stop the video and go back and look at the information that we talked about earlier on. Good luck sorting the statements. I look forward to seeing your work on Tapestry later on today.